Torchic, the chick Pokémon, Combuskin, the young fowl Pokémon, and Blaziken, the blaze Pokémon. Welcome everyone, I'm Exceptional and I hope you are too. Today we will see how quickly I can defeat Pokémon FireRed, including the Round 2 Elite Four, using only my starter, whom I will allow to evolve. In keeping with my new rules, I can only use my starter in battle, no items in trainer battles except for held items, no glitches, exploits, or RNG manipulations, and in the first playthroughs only, I will not use double team or substitute until level 100 and will be running with a Torchic with 0 IVs in every stat. But later in the game, as a last resort, I will allow myself to cheat in rare candies or modify this Torchic for information's sake. In the second playthroughs, however, all bets are off. I will use the information from the first run to carve through the game as quickly as possible using every tool at my disposal. The Torchic line is affectionately known as the Fire Chickens, so I choose the nickname Drumstick. You choose your style from there. Buffalo, Korean barbecue, dill. Torchic stats are much more offensively aimed compared to Trico from last week. I've chosen to go with a neutral nature, as I felt we would be running Drumstick as a mixed attacker for much of the game. Despite having 0 IVs, we win the lab battle. This is already feeling much better than Trico. As a fire type, we have an incredibly easy time ripping through Viridian Forest. I don't see many options available for Brock, but the first that comes to mind is Ember at level 10. I am not confident in it, but these first playthroughs I enjoy finding out what's possible before pursuing what's optimal. Let's try to figure out Brock. We're weak to the rock type, but that isn't an issue, at least against Geodude. We get super lucky in this first attempt, burning him right away. We're still not doing great damage, and even with the burn reducing Geodude's attack, we're still taking a lot of damage. We take him down, but Onix is next, and way more threatening. The AI does see Rock Tomb as more of a speed control, but the second we're in range of a knockout, Onix will unleash it, ending the battle. I left to grind, clearing the entire forest, and camper Liam in the gym here. I've leveled up to 15, and if it isn't possible now, we're just gonna have to grind to 16. We end up getting a perfect exchange against Geodude, taking him out while at full health. As you can see, Onix is prioritizing moves like Tackle and Bind at the moment. The second we're at around half health though, and in range of Rock Tomb knockout, it's all over Red Rover. So it's back to the forest to grind wild battles. I'm hoping to find more cocoons here to snag some defense EVs, but with the power of hindsight, I'm feeling like speed might have been more useful. That's something we'll touch on more later. For now, all I wanted was to level up to 16. We can then evolve into our second stage, Combuskin. This gives us a few advantages. More stats, sure, but we're now dual typed as fire and fighting, removing our weakness to rock. Furthermore, we learn Double Kick, which is going to be a super helpful move for Brock. Let's jump back in. Both Double Kick and Ember now benefit from Stab, or same type attack bonus, which adds a 1.5 times damage modifier to those moves. Add in Rock's weakness to fighting, and Drumstick can eliminate Geodude from the battle on the first turn. We then get incredibly lucky against Onix, and not one, but both shots of Double Kick are criticals, taking him down as well. Just like that, this battle went from incredibly daunting to pretty much free experience. We collect TM39 Rock Tomb and make our way to Mount Moon. I have nothing to report along the way and make sure to grab the Dome Fossil. Gotta keep making my Domies proud. Well, once I get the repel situation sorted out again. Drumstick has blazed through this section, but the second gym leader Misty is looming, and that battle is pretty terrifying for me at the moment. I almost miss it, but I also make sure to teach Mega Punch from the tutors before heading into town. I'll take any boost to our damage that I can right now. I face Rival 2 first, and despite the fact that Pidgeotto has a type advantage against us, he still chooses to shower us in sand. Sand attack, you are the bane of my existence. We're dealing decent damage against him, taking him down in good shape. We end up lacking the damage output against Squirtle though, putting him into torrent range so his super effective water guns take us out. I reset once more with Rock Tomb on our moveset, but it didn't really help that much. So long as we're hitting, we have the damage output to get through this fight, so it's more a matter of getting decent luck and not missing too many shots. When we hit true enough times, we blast through the battle without issue. Then there's nothing that stands in our way. Let's take our first crack at Misty. It's a good news, bad news bear situation that we're facing here. The bad news is that Staryu outspeeds, meaning Starmie will too. The good news is that Mega Punch one-shots. More bad news is that Staryu's Water Pulse hurt a lot, so Starmie's is going to hurt a lot more. I can see that this isn't happening right now immediately. Let's head south to Vermilion City instead. On the SSN, I'm interested in doing a little bit of item collection. I head to the lower deck for some healing items, but more importantly, I make sure to enter the second room from the left on the main deck. This room contains TM31 Brick Break, which is going to be our primary attack for the rest of the game. I also make sure to grab the trash can berries, as I won't be grabbing an army of Meowths in this playthrough. If you're curious, 0 IVs gives us a hidden power typing of fighting with a base power of 30. Not worth it. Let's take on Rival 3. With a crit against his lead Pidgeotto, we keep our accuracy intact, and this battle is going to be a wash from there. We have plenty of raw power, but that isn't enough to handle Misty. The biggest problem that we face with Misty is that after this battle, she's our only progression gate to continue with the game. We need to defeat Misty to use Cut, which we need to either access Lieutenant Surge's gym or Route 9 heading east towards Rock Tunnel. Rival 3 falls, so I run back up to Cerulean to try Misty again with a few more levels. Well, that's clearly not happening still, but I see something on our learn set that just might make the difference for us. At level 28 we learn Bulk Up, a move that will set up our attack and defense by 1 stage in battle, to a maximum of 6. So after leaving to do some training nearby, I come back in at level 28. The goal here is to set up against Staryu, hoping for her cooperation, then tanking a hit from Starmie and one-shotting since we're still outsped. It turns out that +1 still isn't enough, so we'll have to risk a second turn against Staryu. On the next attempt, I get my +2 against Staryu while she focused on hardening. We take the hit with our Persim Berry activating to cure the confusion, and +2 Mega Punch lands, taking out Starmie. Phew, alright, that's 2 badges, but now we find ourselves at a bit of a fork in the road. I choose to go east first, skipping Lieutenant Surge for now. On Route 9, I make sure to grab TM40 Aerial Ace. I'm not sure if I'll need it, but it's a great 60 power flying option that won't miss. It's a little hard to see in the footage, but in Rock Tunnel I divert south in the second last area to also teach Rock Slide from the tutor. As a 75 base power rock move, that's going to give us some incredible coverage for the rest of the game. Also, I'm just realizing the formatting error on Combusken's learn set at the bottom. I'll have that fixed in the second run. I complete the typical welcome to the mid-game chores, and after collecting Fly, have a moment when I realize that I can't fly yet. We don't have Surge's badge, but instead of making a beeline there, I decide to take on more of Celadon first, starting with the Rocket Hideout. I then make sure to grab the coin case for later before taking on Erica's gym. While we're here, we might as well. We have the type advantage after all. I defeat the trainers on the left side, focusing more on attack EVs. If you hadn't guessed already, we'll be leaning into Drumstick's physical side. Let's check out Erica. I have a Cherry Berry equipped, saving us from Victory Bell's Stun Spore in the first turn. We're still only rocking Ember as our primary fire-type attack, but that's going to change very soon. Ember continues scorching through, singeing Tangela, and then roasting Vileplume. This levels us up to 36 at the end of battle, so we're ready to evolve again. I have to say, after all of the years of playing this game, it's the evolutions that still excite me the most while playing. There's something about powering up, changing forms. With a cherry on top is that once we've evolved into Blaziken, we learn Blaze Kick, a fiery equivalent to Rock Slide. We now have pretty darn near the moveset that I'd planned for the rest of the game. Alright, enough of using our bike cross-country as our primary mode of travel. I head back east to Saffron, where I do a little bit of shopping, but also head south back to Vermilion to finally take on Lieutenant Surge. Call me crazy, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the next battle is going to be an absolute cakewalk. Yeah, we're like 1.5 times the level of Surge's team, and now a third stage Pokemon. Brick Break bludgeons Surge's team. I really don't have anything else to say in this battle. How's the first stretch of No Shave November going out there? My egg is getting a little itchy already. Surge is out, so I can fly back to Lavender Town and continue progressing. Fully evolved and fully equipped with powerful moves, Rival 4 in Pokemon Tower is an absolute joke. I feel that this is the point where progress is really going to start accelerating for Drumstick. We one-shot his entire team, so I finish off the tower and head to Silph Co next. I want to dial in our EVs as much as I can with vitamins, but I also want to keep some cash saved up for TM35 from the game corner. It's part of the endgame strategy though, so right now I'm cruising around collecting all of the high value items. While we're in Sylph, it's always a good idea to check out Rival 5 if possible. This reduces backtracking, and with the gift Lapras allows us to grab the rare candy from the Warden in Fuchsia on the first pass. I try setting up immediately with Bulk Up against his lead Pidgeot. Bulk Up gives us the advantage of increasing our defense as well, so we're taking incrementally less damage from his stab super effective wing attacks. But they still hurt a whole lot, so after some misses we take down Bird Brains and can make our way through most of his team, but that extra damage sustained against Pidgeot was a little bit too much. Of all things, we get taken out against Blastoise by Alakazam's Future Sight. I wiped once more playing with ideas when I find this battle. I set up one Bulk Up, then take down Pidgeot with Rock Slide and Exegcute with Blaze Kick. Then, once Alakazam is on the field, I set up two more Bulk Ups since his only attacking move is Future Sight. This is the only battle where Alakazam isn't going to be threatening to us. The extra setup allows us to one-shot Blastoise, so even while taking the Future Sight damage, we're in good shape for the rest of the battle. Cool beans, our next gym leader is Sabrina. You'd think that we'd be at a disadvantage here, and we certainly could be. I know that Sabrina's Kadabra loves using Calm Mind, so I set up my own Bulk Up against it before going on the offense. As a strong physical attacker, we can bash our way through her team, but once Alakazam hits the field, we're up for a gamble. I'm pretty convinced that Psychic could one-shot us, and her Alakazam outspeeds us, but she goes for Future Sight, so Drumstick bonks her over the head for her poor choice, and we take the victory. Awesome! That's 5 badges. Next is Fuchsia City to the south. Our speed, even at base 80, has felt like it's been letting us down so far. So before coming down Cycling Road, I visited the department store, maxing out proteins first, then carbos, and then irons. Special moves will hurt us, but I see us facing more physical threats as the run progresses. I'm currently skipping by the majority of the trainers, but don't worry. Once we hit a wall in the not too distant future, I'll be back here to grind. I clear the Safari Zone, and our next major battle is Koga. His coughings are full of things that I don't want to deal with, like Toxic and more specifically Smokescreen, and with their lower special defense I can take the lead coughing out in a single Blaze Kick. I try setting up against Muck since his accuracy shenanigans will only affect himself, but as it turns out I should just be going for Blaze Kicks here. Blaze Kicks for the whole battle. I have a Pecha Berry equipped just in case, but once I figured out Blaze Kick, we win. That's 6 badges, and our journey now takes us across the sea to Cinnabar Island. Let's check out Blaine. I've been skipping everything along the way, hoping that we can rely on Bulk Up to get us through some of these more tough battles. Blaine has 2 Pokemon that will intimidate us, reducing our attack by 2 stages throughout the battle. So I choose to sit and take Resisted Fire Blast to the face while I set up. Once I've set up to +3, bringing us to +2 attack, I start sweeping with Stab Brick Breaks. Arcanine is out, bringing us back to +1 attack, so I switch to Rock Slide for the additional damage. This is enough, bringing him down, so we collect an easy 7th badge. Again, nothing stands in our way, so let's wrap up the gym challenge against Giovanni. I'm concerned about losing speed from Rhyhorn's Scary Face, so I go straight for the knockout with super effective Stab Brick Break. Dugtrio does no Earthquake, but it's a risk I'm willing to take to get in a little bit of setup. I set up one Bulk Up before taking it and the following Rhyhorn down. We're now down to the deciding Pokemon, his Nidos. We can't one-shot Nidoqueen while her stab super effective Earthquake deals around half. She falls, but Nidoking has a higher attack stat. Drumstick clings on somehow at 5 HP, and then we miss the follow-up attack, getting taken down by Poison Sting. In the next attempt, I set up 3 times against Dugtrio, taking more damage, but it sets us up for success against his Nidos. Queen still isn't a one-shot, but we tank her EQ better this time. He gets stuck in a healing loop for a second, and I am so happy that we weren't affected by Poison Point, as we can then one-shot Nidoking for the victory. That's the gym challenge completed, but I mentioned a wall a second ago. That wall is named Rival 6, just to the west of town on the way to the Pokemon League. Why is he suddenly a wall? Alakazam now knows Psychic. He's incredibly fast, and our speed hasn't exactly been stellar throughout the game. Even from nearly full health, he's easily able to one-shot us. That's not to say that we can even make it to Alakazam consistently. Pidgeot is still a menace by himself, and with a crit can cause another reset almost instantly. So, for the sake of brevity, I went through the process of grinding and leveling up for a while. I clear Cycling Road, the Fighting Dojo, and most of the sea around Cinnabar. At level 58, we have enough damage to one-shot Bird Brains, eliminating the possibility of Feather Dance or worse, Sand Attack. The damage hurts too, but getting hit by those was almost an instant reset. Now at full health, we are not in range for Psychic, so Alakazam, still outspeeding, sets up Calm Mind while Rock Slide takes him out. Phew, now we just have to take on the rest of his team. Blastoise, for some reason, has not really learned any water moves. His best option is Water Gun in this battle, so I set up one bulk up against him before going for the KO. I then sneak in one more against Growlithe for safety, but this battle is now ours. Cool. That was a lot of extra grinding, but here's hoping that set us up for success in the league. We start off against Lorelei. We could easily find ourselves in a very tough position in this first battle. Lorelei is the Icy-type trainer, so of course because Gen 1, most of her team is Water. That brings us from having a big advantage to being way more threatened. Dugong sets up with Safeguard while Drumstick pumps up before going for the one-shot. Against Cloyster, I switch to Blaze Kick since it's neutral and Cloyster has pathetic special defense. Her Ace Lapras is next, but strangely enough is not the biggest threat to us. I'm pretty sure that the crit didn't matter here, but it's Slowbro that's our biggest issue. We're not doing incredible damage, and when Slowbro decides to attack, she hits a stab, super effective Surf, bringing us from full to red bar. With some lucky flinches, we make it through, taking out Jinx in the back easily. Well, that was sketchy. Let's check out Bruno. This is the first battle in a long time that feels like I can say our speed is not a problem. Even after getting hit by Rock Tomb from his lead Onix, reducing our speed by one stage, we still outspeed everything except for Hitmonlee. At +1, I can then start carving through his team with Brick Break, one-shotting everyone except for Machamp. He falls to a +1 stab Brick Break and Blaze Kick combo. Can you think of a more Blaziken sentence? Bruno falls, next is Agatha. I have a Chesto Berry equipped for safety. I don't quite want to use the Lumberry yet while I test what she's going to do. I'm quite nervous about this battle. Our bulk ups are great, but only go so far. Rock Slide only has an accuracy of 90% to begin with after all, so there's going to be inconsistency here no matter what I do. Did I mention my Chesto Berry? Because I shouldn't have. She clued in and went for Toxic instead, and with the misses from Rock Slide, we're quickly overwhelmed by the damage. I wiped once more, but I discovered that I can set up 2 bulk ups against her lead Gengar and just hope that she uses Hypnosis. I want to save the Lumberry for round 2 as she's so much more threatening to us in round 2. We hit true and make it to her ace Gengar. I'll set up once more because we can't quite one-shot her, and that's what I discovered in the wipe that you missed. Then Arbok in the back is an easy cleanup. That's 3 members down, the 4th is Lance. I've discovered in the past that as long as you can hold up against his lead Gyarados, you can get some decent setup in. I have to keep in mind that I'm going to get hit by Aerodactyl, so I set up 3 bulk ups before going on the offense. Aerodactyl, of course, outspeeds, hitting a stab super effective wing attack, but with our defense set up, it doesn't hit too hard. We can then outspeed and one-shot his Ace Dragonite with super effective Rock Slide and 2 Dragonairs in the back with Brick Break. Sweet! Our last battle in round 1 is against the champion. There's bad news right off the bat. We can't one-shot Pidgeot and instantly get taken to under half health in the first turn. Well, I'm not feeling great about this attempt, but let's see how far we get. The only reason that I make it as far as we do is because Alakazam chose to use Future Sight instead of instantly taking us out with Psychic. His speed is 159 in this battle, and our speed, including badge boosts, is only 132 at the moment. Trust me, anytime he sees a KO with Psychic, he's going to take it. So let's start the process of experimenting, wiping, and this time I'll finally be dipping into our rare candies. I'll catch back up in the next battle. 7 resets and 6 rare candies later, I'm starting the battle at level 68 over 3 damage rounding thresholds. Pidgeot is not only a complete pain to face because of Sand Attack, but also Feather Dance, which reduces our attack by 2 stages, while Bulk Up only sets us up by +1. I've discovered that if we're hit by 1, I should just keep setting up, trying to get to +1 attack before taking out Bird Brains. The only reason why we see any success in this battle is because of poor move choice from Alakazam. In the 2 attacking turns that he could get in against us, he goes for Future Sight both times. Psychic would have ended us. With him out of the way though, and Blastoise missing Hydro Pump, we can easily carve through the rest of his team. But this victory was incredibly lucky, of that there is no doubt. I'm gonna have to come up with something a bit more clever for the next playthrough. Despite starting with 0 IVs again though, I feel like this run is going much more smoothly than Trico last week. This is exactly why I wanted more data before reconsidering the methodology again. Drumstick clocks in with a round 1 time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 43 seconds at level 69, nice, with 25 resets. This took 4 hours and 59 minutes of game time. There isn't much to discuss between the leagues. I grab the leftovers as always and make my way to 7 Island to the move tutor on the bridge. I'm gonna be replacing Bulk Up with Swords Dance. Oh yeah. I have 1 more stop to make in Celadon. After defeating the round 1 league, I now have enough money to buy some coins and purchase TM35 Flamethrower. This will replace Blaze Kick and completes our moveset for the round 2 league. Lorelei, as always, kicks us off. Along with some team and moveset changes, all teams in the league have been powered up by around 12 levels. We start off in some serious danger, setting up 1 Swords Dance while taking a heavy, stab super effective Surf from Dugong. But that's the last time that we get hit. Lorelei's Slowbro has been swapped for Piloswine, so the +2 stab Brick Breaks disassemble her team while our leftovers slowly heal up that first hit. That felt pretty secure. Let's talk about Bruno, no. Something that I have to be aware of in the round 2 league is that everything hits harder and has been given more coverage moves. Earthquakes are everywhere in round 2, so against Bruno I immediately tried guarding my speed, taking down both Steelixes with stab super effective flamethrowers. I then try setting up 1 SD against Hitmonlee, who responds with EQ for about 3/4 of our max. Ouch. We then don't quite have the damage against Machamp, missing the 1 shot and getting taken down by another Earthquake. 4 resets later, I've dipped back into our rare candies, using 2 to bring us to level 75 over the next damage rounding threshold. I hadn't really figured out anything differently, just using the same strategy as the first battle, but at a higher level this time. Bumping over that damage rounding threshold seemed to do the trick though, now one-shotting Machamp and cleaning up Hitmonchan in the back. We have hit a few speed bumps between both leagues now, but nothing that's outright walled us. But let's discuss Agatha. While the rest of the league is blessed with 50 copies of TM26, Agatha spent more time hounding Mr. Psychic for copies of TM29. Her lead Gengar Psychics hit for well over half. I was able to get in 1 SD though, so I can take out Gengar, but that's just her first team member. Oh, and Agatha got TM26 too, as Arbok's Earthquake brings us down. 5 resets, and our last 5 rare candies later, we're now level 80, still smashing our face against Agatha. I do have the Lumberry equipped, but really, this time we win solely because of luck again, it feels. Her first move misses, with our Lumberry saving us on the second. Arbok sets up Double Team instead of attacking, giving us another free SD, which we then hit through with Rock Slide. Crobat misses Air Cutter while we one-shot, and her Ace Gengar finally gets a shot in, dealing 2/3 of our health in a single shot. If we'd been hit by anything else in that battle, it would have been over. But a victory it is, so let's move on to Lance. Welcome to the last legitimate wipe of the run. My biggest error leading up to Lance was not making sure that I had a spare Cherry Berry. Without it, Gyarados will paralyze us turn 1, which is pretty much battle over. In the off chance that he doesn't paralyze us, he shakes us down with his own Earthquakes. If I manage to get a lucky flinch against Gyarados, we make it to Aerodactyl, but that story ends just as quickly. So, in keeping with my new rules, I shut down the game, dropped my file into PKHeX, and let's see what it takes to defeat this league. First, I'm attempting with nothing changed aside from having a Cherry Berry equipped. I can then set up 1 SD against Gyarados while our Berry cancels his Thunder Wave. We can then take him out, and after taking a nasty EQ from Aerodactyl, we can work our way through his flying types with super effective Rock Slide. Against Kingdra though, we can't one-shot at +1, and he brings us down with Stab's super effective Surf. Another 7 resets later, and I've dipped into my illegal rare candies to increment to level 88. We're still using the same strategy as I have not been able to find a sneaky place to get another SD in. Lance is just dealing too much damage. He has another team littered with EQs, and Kingdra's Stab Surf isn't to be scoffed at. Level 88 finally gave us the damage that we needed to bring down Kingdra, which then secures the victory. I have a sneaking suspicion though that after beating Lance, it means that we've beaten the game in this run. Let's face down our final challenge of the run, the Round 2 champion. Having not really come into this battle with a fully formed plan, I just keep going for one-shots if I suspect that I can. Heracross falls to a Stab super effective Flamethrower, Tyranitar to a Stab 4x super effective Brick Break. We're on a roll here, so Flamethrower for Executor? Another one-shot. I suspect that Alakazam can't one-shot us, so I risk setting up once against him. A super nice advantage of level 88 is that we finally outspeed him, and +2 Stab-resisted Brick Break still bends him till he broke. Then I just went for it, with +1 super effective Rock Slide taking out Arcanine, and much to my disappointment, +1 Stab Brick Break can't quite take out Blastoise. Oh well, let's just keep spamming it, and we win. Huzzah! There are definitely some runs where it feels like all of the work is already done for me. I only have a couple of minor tweaks to make for the next run, and I feel like it's going to be a fast one. Drumstick clocks in with a round 2 time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 41 seconds at level 89 with 49 resets. This took 6 hours and 5 minutes of game time. Our first change in the second playthrough is that now Torchic has max 31 IVs in all stats. That's right, no hidden power today. I have the finish line in mind. I've kept a neutral nature as I will be relying on both of our superb offensive stats throughout the game. After some testing, I discovered that Brock was possible with Torchic at level 15, but not very consistent, so I made a plan to get to 16. We start off strong, wiping out the rival in the lab. Then it's to Route 22 west of Viridian City for the first bit of training. There are wild Mankeys in this grass which provide attack EVs, and we will be leaning heavily into our physical attack again. We also soak up a few speed EVs. I then defeat Rival 1.5 and every trainer in Viridian Forest. As you can see on the overlay, we're not quite level 16 yet, so I have to do some more grinding. Camper Liam in Brock's gym provides another roughly 400 experience, but everything else has to be done in the wild. We level up to 16, evolving into Combuskin. I learns Double Kick, and it's time to rock the early section of the game. I defeat Brock with ease, follow the same path through Mount Moon, including grabbing the Dome Fossil, all hail the Dark Lord, and teach Mega Punch once again. I've cleared 2 additional trainers along the way. I have another experience target to reach right away. The 2 early rare candies factor into that, but not quite yet. First, I have to defeat Rival 2. I defeat him easily, continuing along the same route as last time. I do battle 1 extra trainer though, leveling up to 26 and prep for Misty, equipping my Person Berry and using the 2 rare candies that we've collected so far to level to 28 learning Bulk Up. That's right, there won't be any backtracking this time. Just like last time, with Bulk Up on our side, we do stand a chance against her. Just a chance, but a chance I'll take. Staryu is dead set on hardening, so I set up 2 bulk ups and then go for Mega Punch for the KO. Starmie outspeeds, hitting us for half with Water Pulse, but our +2 Mega Punch connects, ending the battle. We're over leveled now for the next section, but this extra boost in XP helps us a little bit later as well. I defeat Rival 3 on the SS Anne, followed by Lieutenant Surge, and we're quickly in the mid-game with our chores completed facing Giovanni. I have followed the exact same route as last time, collecting Aerial Ace, learning Rock Slide and Rock Tunnel, and grabbing Return. That extra experience is now about to pay off. Ember was effective, but quite lackluster against Erica, but Blaze Kick sounds fun. Well, after a setup and quick stomping of Giovanni, we level up to 36, evolving into Blaziken. I then learn Blaze Kick over Ember, and actually won't be keeping it for too long. Blaze Kick scorches Erica, then we sear Rival 4 in Pokemon Tower, and are back in Silphco collecting some items. I'm not going as crazy as last time. In this run, we aren't going to need nearly as much money. I'm definitely focused on the PP enhancing and restoring items though. Managing one's PP can be a lot of fun in general, but today it was especially satisfying for me. We're then ready for Rival 5. Using experience from the previous run, I know to get rid of Pidgeot using Rock Slide right away and Execute with Blaze Kick. I set up twice against Alakazam because, you know, future sight only, and then we win the battle from there. We're still rocking Blaze Kick, but that is about to change. Maintaining a mixed attacker has been great, but I felt like replacing Blaze Kick with Return at this point was very beneficial. I then defeat Sabrina, and pop out next door into the fighting dojo for a little bit of training. We're focusing on our attack this time, plus we need some experience. I then buy vitamins, only having to buy 4 proteins to max out their efficacy, including what we collected. Our attack and speed are now vitamin capped, so I start my journey down the east path of Cycling Road for, you guessed it, more attack EVs. We find ourselves quickly against Koga where Return can one-shot his Coughings. I then set up against Muck, and at +2 we can wipe out his team. We're not quite done training yet, so after Koga, it's time to get this fire type a little wet. It's so weird to me how easy attack EVs are to get in these runs, whereas special attack EVs are much more restricted in good grinding spots. All down the path between Palatown and Cinnabar are fishermen that have teams stacked with Goldeen and Seekings. Fisherman Ronald alone is worth 7 attack EVs. I defeat the trainers in the surrounding area, then all of the trainers in Blaine's gym soaking up the speed EVs. Our attack EVs are around 150 at this point, and I do want a little bit of speed for the league. I then defeat Blaine, then remember how I said managing my PP was fun? Check that out. You can see on the overlay that I only have 2 uses of Brick Break left, and that's it. If I'd been caught by the patrolling lady on the beach, she has 2 Pokemon and I would have been safe. Ah, awesome routing me. Anyway, I then defeat Giovanni after clearing every trainer in his gym as well. That concludes our grinding, but we're now at level 59, set up to be level 60 in the Rival 6 battle. We have only one stop to make in between though, oh yeah, substrats, best strats. This will help us a little bit in round 1, but it makes a massive difference in our consistency in round 2. I then defeat Rival 6, and we're ready for the round 1 league. As is becoming tradition in these videos, I will be supercutting the Round 1 League. We're going to see much more interesting versions of these same battles in Round 2, and trust me, guarded behind our decoy and with maxed IVs and optimized EVs, we're now outspeeding key foes. The Round 1 League melts to Blaziken's brash, bright burning blaze. Oh, wait, we got rid of our fire moves. Blaziken's booming blunt blows bludgeon the Round 1 League. That's better. Bipedal Pokemon are beasts. Okay, I'm done babbling. Let's check out the Round 1 champion. Substitute sacrifices a quarter of your max HP to put up a decoy with health equivalent to what was sacrificed. The decoy then guards against damage, but more importantly, status conditions from your opponent. Sand Attack and Feather Dance all you want, my friend. My plushie has got my back. I hide behind a decoy, setting up 2 bulk ups, and then we can absolutely steamroll his whole team. Blaziken is just one of those Pokemon that does this moveset very well. And for solo runs, there are few things better than being able to set up without our stats being lost during the process. If you think that battle was easier than last time, wait till you see round 2. I can definitely understand why people objected to me using Substitute before level 100 in the first playthroughs. Blaziken clocks in with a round 1 time of 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 39 seconds at level 68 with 0 resets. This took 4 hours and 28 minutes of game time. It's the same as last run, grabbing the leftovers and Swords Dance from the tutor. Alright, that's it. Now let's jump into the round 2 Pokemon League. I used the last of our rare candies, leveling up to 75 before jumping into the league. Lorelei isn't going to be an issue at all for us. Stab's super effective Brick Break picks apart her team. Being at +2 might have been totally excessive, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. A crit surf from her definitely has the potential to ruin our day. I don't know why, but there's something about Stab Brick Break that's just satisfying to me. Does anyone else pick up on those vibes from a specific move? Let me know in the comments. Lorelei falls, but Bruno has changed a little. Testing revealed that we did get quite lucky in several battles during that round 2 league in the first playthrough. Against Bruno, having our speed reduced is something that we just can't afford, so I use Substitute to guard against Steelix's Rock Tombs while we're setting up a single SD. He switches to Earthquake spam, which is why we couldn't survive a speed reduction. I tried in vain to keep a decoy up, but why bother at this point? Stab super effective Brick Breaks bust his Steelixes and start picking apart his fighting types as well. Thank you, Substitute, for nothing more than just guarding my speed. Bruno falls. Next is Agatha. Even with the power of Substitute on our side, Agatha can still be incredibly dangerous. We are entirely at the whims of the AI here. We can outspeed getting a decoy up early to protect against Hypnosis and Confuse Ray, but if she decides to start spamming Psychics, there isn't a thing that we can do. In this battle, she does give us the chance to get in a single SD, then +2 Rock Slides take her apart. Her Ace Gengar survives the hit with a sliver, breaking our decoy with super effective Psychic. She then heals while I soak up another SD, then +4 Rock Slide does not leave any room for error. The third league member has fallen. That leaves Dragon Doctoral Lance. His lead Gyarados just wants to paralyze us. Lately I've been trying to set up around this, not always exploiting the AI, but today I have something else. Many videos ago it feels, during this battle I sang that I'm not paralyzed, but I seem to be struck by Lance. And Holland THG finished the lyrics for me in the comments. If his dragons match up badly as they do, I'm gonna move right through him on my way to blue. It's so nice to finally include that in a video. I really am trying to shorten some of these lists. Anyway, clearly we aren't struggling in this league, so let's check out the final battle, the Round 2 champion. Should I call him Blue or Terry, which is the default rival name in FireRed? Oh, the things we learn. Heracross is another Earthquake user, so I have to rely on him going for either Counter or Rock Tomb. I start setting up decoys and hoping that the AI cooperates. Just like against Agatha, if the AI decides to damage spam us, we're finished. We end up being knocked to just under half health, but we are set up to +6 with Sword Dances, so let's sweep. Rock Slide takes down Heracross. Of course, +6 stab, 4 times super effective Brick Break hits Tyranitar with enough damage for him and 5 of his closest friends. The reason we're +6 here is because of Exeggutor. I figured that the extra turns potentially missing Rock Slides was a worse potential outcome than just getting to +6, so the sweep continues. Alakazam, Arcanine, and Blastoise in the back all fall to more of our break-bricking onslaught. The final battle of the game has been vanquished. Check out that PP management too. Fun fact, I forgot to heal before entering the league both times in this run. Thanks Past Me for grabbing all of those PP items. Blaziken clocks in with a round 2 time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 19 seconds at level 78 with 0 resets. Heck yeah. This took 5 hours and 24 minutes of game time. So let's compare how much time we saved between runs. We came out of the gates strong, optimizing our grinding for Brock and saving over 3.5 minutes right away. We see some massive time fluctuations around Misty because of how much the routing changed, but it levels out again around Badge 4 for a bit. We're then losing a bit of time heading towards the final gym because of the additional grinding, but it pays off with a time save of just over 21 minutes at the end of round 1, saving 34 minutes and 21 seconds upon completing round 2, 11 levels lower with 49 less resets. This also took 41 minutes less game time. On the tier list, this places Blaziken at the end of the A tier between Salamence and Scizor. As this graphic continues to fill, I realize more and more that I need to change it. I have a solid idea of what I'd like to do with it, I just need to take the time to do it. I've been a bit too busy meddling around with thumbnails lately. Speaking of thumbnails, check these out. Nice segue, me. I will have a poll posted at the end of this video asking which Versus video you would all like to see next. I will mention that some popularly requested runs have been excluded because we've run the Pokemon solo recently and I don't want things to be too same-ish. The options are Mewtwo versus Rayquaza, or Rayquaza, I'll figure out which one I want to do, Gengar versus Clefairy, Kingler versus Groudon, Tentacruel versus Quillfish, and finally Hypno versus Grumpig. Let me know in the comments which you would like to see next. Soon I will also be making a poll for the next 3-way verses coming in December. I want to take a moment to extend a special thank you to those of you generous enough to support the channel via YouTube memberships, Patreon, and Super Chat. Your generosity absolutely blows my mind and keeps me motivated to continue working hard on the next project. From the bottom of my shell, thank you all so very much. And thank you, loyal viewer, for making it to the end of the video. My goal is to reach 5,000 subscribers by 2024, and if you're still watching right now, it helps me out so much. If you feel like I've earned it, consider leaving a like and comment about the run, what you'd like to see in the future, or just to say hi. Hello, bonjour, hola, guten Tag. Next week, we'll be facing Red and taking our first shot at a solo playthrough in Soul Silver on Tuesday's stream, when the Friday premiere will be the most requested starter video to date. If you'd like to keep up with my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to never miss a video. After all, substrats, best strats. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go scratch my neck for a few minutes. No shave November. Until next time, take care everyone.